was the most shocking one?
Someone from Pinterest, the one that works at Pinterest, like, hey, he could refer me to a role there. I think it was very, very interesting. I think I also got some other emails from some companies that were looking to hire as well. AI gives the creative mind the ability to just do more, right? You could be very creative. You could have an idea in your head, right? But you don't have the technical abilities to do it. But you know, you have the concept in your head. So,
or like, how does Figma come into play now? Michael, welcome behind the ship. For the people that don't know, Michael is a product designer. He's been doing this for 7 years. You probably know him as the Niger Tech guy on Twitter, like the guy that's always posting like really cool experiments with AI, especially just recently. And I mean, he's this like multidisciplinary person. So like 3D experiments, product features, whatever it is, visuals, anything that you can think of. His work rate is insane. And that doesn't mean that his quality bar is also low. He has a very high bar for craft. And when I put out on Twitter that he was going to come behind the ship, someone said I should ask you how you spend your average day. What does that look like?
Okay, so I think my day is not really a linear process for me. So I think some days I just wake up, some days I just wake up and I just decide to design something. Mostly once I go to X, see what other people are doing, I get inspiration, try to do something from it. I think I think even the Chrome this night built the Chrome extension I built a while ago. I think it was just something I just came online on X. I saw someone build an app that does that. I was like, okay, the app form factor is cool, but normally if you're browsing, you need to be able to access it in different places. So that's why I thought, okay, a Chrome extension would actually make this be very, very interesting. And I think the kind of DMs I got from that was quite interesting.
What
yeah,
DMs did you get? What was the most shocking one? One.
Okay. I think one was from someone from Pinterest, the one that works at Pinterest. Like, okay, hey, he could refer me to a role there. I think it was very, very interesting. I think I also got some other emails from some companies that were looking to hire as well. So I kind of spoke to a few companies as well. I think it was very, very interesting. Yeah, I think there are days where I wake up because obviously I think I have sometimes I post then I say for asking me if I'm human. So now I think okay, full disclosure, yeah. There are days I wake up and my head is blank. Try my head is blank. And I can't force myself. But there's this thing I would say as creative people, we try to force ourselves. I'm like, I've understood myself and I know that if I force myself, it's not going to yield any results. So I just zone out, go and play a game. Just leave my laptop entirely. Because once I come back to that, I probably know what to do. But there are days where I need to just step back, get myself together, and try to be able to just disconnect, which is why I tend to play games a lot. But I think games tend to help me. I think it's something that helps me multitask, right? Because one thing about gaming is when you play different games, you tend to learn how the controls for each of those games work. So that kind of translates to me trying to learn different tools. So I see me learning each tool the same way I see myself learning how to play a new game. I'm just trying to learn how the controls work for this and how to be able to make this work. So I think that's how I tend to see it. But my average day is not like it's a fixed route. I think if anyone has a fixed routine, it's probably very, very boring. Very boring for them.
True.
So
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get how when people say, "Are you normal?" Like, how are you doing these things? Because it's like nobody has tried these things, and then because it feels like it takes a lot of time, you just come on TL and say, "I have an idea," and like in the next few minutes, you just just you have just created something out of nothing, literally. So because your workflow is now powered by AI, that also increases your speed. So how do you even um figure out what AI works for you, and how do you tend to like how does that help you build up like a workflow?
So I think the best way for me to kind of find out the best AI to use, or the best, I think uh, first is to kind of differentiate between the AI tool and the AI model itself, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the models tend to be what powers the tool. I think coding with AI wasn't really something that was functional until we had this new model from these guys, this Claude 3.7 Sonnet from these
Mm-hmm.
guys that released it. I think it was a very, I think, sorry, not 3.7, 3.5 rather, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
think that was what kind of changed the ecosystem. You're now seeing tons of tools coming out. You're seeing v0.dev, you're seeing boat.new, you're seeing onlook.dev. So like tons of tools across, right? And I think me being able to, what I used to do before there were all of these platforms that just let you build was I'll go straight to Claude, for example, right? Just try to build. I think the very first Chrome extension I built, I didn't build it with Cursor. It was inside Claude. I would copy the code from Claude, go to
Mm-hmm.
my IDE, debug myself, ask Claude questions. So it was more like it was a
Then
very
go
very
back.
long
Mm-hmm.
process. So I was like, okay. Then when they released Cursor, I was like, okay, now I can have Claude. I think
Stay
for me,
on. Mm-hmm.
yeah, stay on everywhere because Claude feels like right now it's part of my laptop everywhere. Like it's on my Raycast app, it's on my IDE, it's literally everywhere on my laptop. Like I can kind of ask
Mm.
questions, even in my Figma on my
And
browser
Figma
as
as
well.
well. Mm.
So I just try to kind of distribute it everywhere so I can ask questions everywhere. I think it just there's this thing I said. I feel like AI gives the creative mind the ability to just do more. Right? You could be very creative. You could have an idea in your head, right? But you don't have the technical abilities to do it. But
Mm.
you have the concept in your head. So you can just say, okay, fine, here's what I want to build. You kind of describe it and you kind of
Mm-hmm.
see the results. I think it's a very, very, very fun and sometimes annoying process, especially when the model
When you
goes
hit bug.
off.
Mm-hmm.
When
Mm-hmm.
it bugs and you're like, okay, I don't understand what's
Mm-hmm.
happening. But
What's going on?
yeah, but I think the fun part though is so sometimes the entire experience is not always the output. Sometimes the best experience is the bugs you meet along the way. Yeah. I think
Mm-hmm.
they're the fun ones. So they actually make you learn. So those
Mm-hmm.
bugs you meet, you're like, okay, because I think there are things I see people that don't have dev experience do when they
Mm-hmm.
kind of use AI to code. I'm like, you shouldn't be doing this. You need to consider
Mm-hmm.
like different parts of of your code. Then like
Mm-hmm.
you just need to make sure like you're building with security in mind as well, because
Mm-hmm.
with tons of people building with AI, there are
Mm-hmm.
tons of vulnerable applications as well. So people just need to kind of find the balance between that as well.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I saw a couple of stories about people hacking like people's backend, deleting their data and the backend, a bunch of different things. So it's
Yeah,
interesting the newer types of problems that vibe coding presents is what I'll say, especially when you don't have a strong foundation for like security, things like that. But again, we're all learning, we're all trying to have fun with it. So we're not just putting customer data and stuff like that. So it's fine. It's all fun and games for now. Um so tell me a little bit about, so you mentioned about this tool, this project that you did, the Chrome extension for Pinterest. You said that how long did that take you to
I
do,
think
and just
I feel like 4 hours because I saw the tweet around. I saw the tweet that inspired that stuff. I think I saw it around 10 p.m. or so, right? And
Mhm.
I was like, Okay, I think this could be a Chrome extension. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it took like 4 hours. But I think the thing about me is I think because of the different tools I've used and the different uh things I've done previously, right? I'm able to kind
Mm-hmm.
of look at any app or any website and try to figure out probably how it was done, right? It's when I start building, I can probably say, okay, this doesn't work or this does not work, right? So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's one of my favorite parts. I think one thing I did was to be able, because I think I had seen that there was this new update where you were able to generate images using this AI model from Google, which has a Gemini 2.0, I
Mm-hmm.
think maybe 2.5,
Mm.
right? So I
Oh, I
think
didn't
what
know
I
they
did
had released
was,
that. You can now generate images from that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so the whole idea of the extension was, okay, I saw you can add your image to Gemini and it can
Mm.
swap, like do the face swap and try to do that. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, if I could have a Chrome extension that just basically takes the picture,
Uses. Mm-hmm.
sends it to Gemini, returns the results. That was the basic concept. So it just, but on the front end of things, it looked quite complex. But at the back, I'm just sending an image to Gemini and bringing it back to the front. So it's just
Yeah.
like a basic wrapper. But on the front end, it looks like it's wow, it's crazy. But
Wow, how did
maybe
you code this thing?
yeah. So which
Why
is
did
why
you
I
use
say
Gemini over like Chat GPT? I mean, they do that as well. So just curious
okay,
for
yeah. So
the choice. Mhm.
so
Model choice.
ChatGPT would have ChatGPT would have been the best model for me. However, their image API isn't open yet. So it was more of thinking I was trying to see if I could use that, but it's
Was
not
it
been released yet.
okay? Okay, okay. It's not like it's
So,
paid;
yeah,
it's just not available.
yeah,
Okay.
it's not available. So their image generation just exists in their browser for now. So on the web app rather,
Makes sense.
but
Mm.
there's no endpoint for it. So I think the only one that had an endpoint was Gemini, and I was like, okay, I think
Mm.
I can do this.
So
I think
you hack. Sorry, continue.
yeah, so I think I tried to even add like a video functionality where you could probably see yourself wearing the
Mm.
clothes and turning around, but I was like, that's an overkill. Like, I'm not doing. I'll just leave it. Let's just leave
For
it at
now,
this point first. Yeah, we'll
yeah,
kind of move it
yeah.
in.
So walk me through just what that looked like. Did you, like you said, you like to, you now run everything on Cursor. Was that the case
Yeah.
here?
Okay, yeah. So I think yeah. So I run everything on Cursor mostly. I think the basic part of it is just being able to understand. I think for extensions, right, or for any tool that
Mm,
interacts with the web, so you need to
mm,
know. Obviously, you need to have like your server. You need to have like a server running that sends that has your endpoint and all of that. Then you need to have like your front end. So I think the whole idea was being able to separate those concerns, know what I'm
mm,
handling on the front end, know what I'm handling on the back end of things. And thankfully, since I have since I have some sort of experience across most of those fields, I just tend to
mm,
just ask the AI questions, get feedback. Because I think one important part of prompting I tend to use is I don't start to build immediately, right? I
mm.
ask the model
You
tons
probe.
of
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
ask the model tons of questions, right? And when I'm asking tons of questions, I'm asking it to give me multiple ways to do it. Now, based off
Okay,
of
okay.
what it
What
gives
is
me, and
saying?
now I now decide the best route to take. However,
Mm,
the mistake people make sometimes is they just go and say, build this. How is you could take the wrongest route. So why not allow the model tell you what's available and what you can do?
mm,
Then you can now do your own research and say, okay, fine, I think this will work for this. Like for example, if you
mm.
just tell the if I just gone to
And
the
say, I want to do
student and say
this
and said
extension. Mm-hmm,
I said I want to build this extension, right? It's going to build absolutely rubbish, totally rubbish,
mm,
and it's going to look very terrible. So I think
mm, mm,
the whole idea is I tend to tell people to see it. If you're a designer and you're trying to vibe code or you're trying to build stuff, yeah, I think
mm.
see it the same way as you use Figma, right? you're you're building each screen or each component step by step. There are times where you might need to try to build a full page at once. They can now start making those changes, but you don't expect it to build the entire product. It's going to break, and you have tons of bugs that you don't even know where it
Where
came
to
from.
start?
Yeah. Then another rule of thumb is I try to make sure. I think it was something I had learned uh, when I started to build more stuff with AI. Is try to make your code to be, how would I put it? Not too long, right? I think there was one time I just said, okay, I wanted to just close my eyes. Let me allow the AI do what it wants to do. Let me just see. I had a file that had 3,000 lines of code. I'm like, who is going to read this thing? This cannot be maintained. This is not usable.
Can be
Oh,
maintained.
nobody can maintain this thing. So I had to kind of refactor that again. But I think it's just um being able to find a balance between when you want the AI to do something and when you want to actually take charge. So I would say you kind of see the AI as a co-pilot as opposed to the AI being in charge and you're just watching.
That's the
Some people,
robot. Yeah.
so some people just sit back, ask the AI, just go and walk. I'll be here
Ask
looking at you.
yeah, to be on the driver's seat when it should be like reversed. So it's on the
Yeah,
passenger seat and you're sort of driving the air and say, I want to do
yeah,
this. This is what I want. Yeah, that's a really good one. So first you said ask probe the AI tool. So ask questions. Second is make your code base concise. Ready?
yeah.
Cool. So I want to understand like I guess your workflow now sort of, have you eliminated Figma as being like design first? Like, is there a time where you need to start with Figma? Or like, how does Figma come into play now?
So I think Figma is still important, right? Because I think the funniest tweet I see on X every day is Figma is dead. These two just really.
It's usually just like they're just trying to chase clouds and
So
just farming.
I'm like you're saying
Mm,
Figma. I'm like no, right? However, the thing now is this, right? You're able to build up something as a designer without Figma right now, and it's closer to the real thing, right?
mhm,
And even if you move away from tools that use AI, right?
mhm,
There's this platform called Play, right? Play
mm,
lets you create iOS apps. Like you can actually do the design of the iOS app, right? And
mhm.
you can actually see it on the
Your phone.
preview, and you
Mhm,
can actually use that to actually build up an actual app using cursor just from the
mhm,
layout you've already set there. So I
mm,
think when people say Figma, I'm like, not necessarily. And even Play allows you import from Figma, right? You're able to import your
mhm,
designs from
mhm,
Figma to Play. If it's an iOS app, you add your interactions there. Then when you
mm,
now go to cursor, for example, you can now maybe add the extra things you need to add, let's say your
mm,
variables, your data.
mhm,
You actually link it up to an actual web app or an actual API. Sorry. So
mm,
I
mhm,
think it's very 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 funny when I see. But I think I've been able to build a. I think there was an email app I built. I was trying to test out if I could build a mobile app, and this one was one of the funniest things I've ever done because I have no mobile development experience. That one was
mm.
I wanted to
Completely
see
new,
what
new ground for
new
you.
I so it was just me trying to okay, what can I do with this based on the experience I have to an extent. So I was like,
Mm,
I think it was very, very I think the first time I almost gave up because it was very challenging. And I think
mm,
one thing I hate is when I um I try to build stuff and I get that feeling that maybe I can't do it. What I tend to
mm,
do is I step back, just go and sleep and wake up. Then once
mm.
I come back to it, it works. It works perfectly. So I think I'm
Well,
like, I think for some reason it feels like maybe at that period I'm having brain fog or something, and I need to just go back,
Step away
just
for a bit.
leave the
Yeah.
code, go and touch grass, then you come back, and all of a sudden the code start working. Okay, cool.
Yeah. When people talk about just like AI for design, they usually talk about generating visual assets like Figma with sorry Mid Journey, now ChatGPT. They talk about just like generating code faster for people that are like researching, they want to like feed raw interview notes and try to generate like synthesis. But all these things are like just incremental. I think
Yeah.
like you've just described what really sets you apart is your output. They're not just like an experiment. It almost feels done. Like you said, this Pinterest experiment, this Pinterest Chrome extension that you've done, it's like people are already reaching out to you. They want to hire you. They want you on their team. They want you to build stuff out and help you even build theirs because it just feels well done. Um, so I mean, I really love how you're able to piece the right tools and you're treating them as tools, as not, they are not a replacement. They are just things that you use to exponentially improve your workflows. So we're going to enter into just vibe coding section. Just we're going to spend some time vibe coding any experiment of your choice. I know like a lot of people are looking forward to this, so I'm just excited to have you do it here.
Okay, one sec, let me see. So I think I'll do this. There are two ways. I'll probably start
Mm-hmm.
with an easy one. That one's like I'll just do like a one shot prompt, right?
Mm.
Then I can probably go into cursor. Because I think before this stream I saw someone asking me what's an MCP. I think it's probably easier to kind of show what an MCP does and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll start with the one that's a bit harder, then I'll have the easier one last because that one is less
Okay.
interesting because it's one prompt.
True.
So let me
Okay, so when
see.
you're
Let
ready,
me.
just share your screen. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So this is Koso, right? This is just like a basic your basic IDE. So the fun part is when you start a project. So I can just start a project. Let's go to scripts and just call this BTS. Okay. And I can open. So normally when you open like your cursor, you get to see like this agent view here. You're able
Mm,
to switch between multiple models. By default, it's going to have the agent mode turned on, which is auto, right? So you
mm,
can switch between agent mode, you can switch to axe, then you can switch to manual.
mm.
For most of the use cases, I use the agent mode, and I don't use auto because I want to have control over which model
What's
is doing what.
happening? Did you
Right?
have to install
So
all these things or just it's
So
already here?
it comes with yeah, so it comes with cursor, but you have to go to settings, then you go to your
Mm,
models, then you turn on.
mm-hmm.
You can see there are tons of more models here, but I only turn on the
No, you
ones I
can turn
feel like
on
I
if you.
use often.
Mm,
So once you turn them on,
okay.
they're available on this area, right?
Mm,
So then I think another part of cursor is the MCP. I'll come to these ones. I have like tons of
mm-hmm.
MCP servers on. So let me turn
Mm-hmm.
off Gmail, turn off text to PDF. Okay. I might leave Superbase. I don't know if I need Superbase. Perplexity. Let's refresh this. Okay, let me turn this off and turn it back on. Okay, okay, this one only
Is that
turns on one
Figma?
side. Yeah, so it's a local Figma server. The reason why it's not on right now is because I've not turned this on yet. So once it's on, it's going to
Fair.
come on.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of showed you guys around the Figma, like the cursor interface. So you have like your history here. It
Mm,
shows your chat history. You're able to close all chats if you want to just close all the chats you have.
mm,
Then another thing you also need to do is there is this stuff called a cursor rules file, right? So if you add a cursor rules file, the whole idea is to give the AI this instructions, so it has context. So you can see
mm,
if I do something like this, I could just say dot cursor rules. right? Then I think usually it doesn't have a dash, but it doesn't really matter. I put dot cursor. The idea is you just type in your prompt. Then what you do is you can see it's added like context here. So if I take this out, you can see it will tell you to add context because you need to add you need to give the AI agent context of what you want it to do.
What to
But for
expect?
so for the purpose of this video, I won't go through that because it's a very long process. I don't have time to come and start writing the rules. Or I could tell the agent to write the rule itself, but it requires some customization. But let's just turn on the MCP server. So I'll just show you guys how that one works. So let's do this. I can go to File, New Window, Open Projects. I need to find my MCP server. I think it's in Figma. I have tons of projects, but the ones I haven't published. Let's see. So Figma, I think it's this one, Figma Context MCP, hopefully. Yes, this is it. So I think it should be, did I use npm start or run dev here? Okay, this is npm start. Okay. So you can see like I have my SSE endpoint established, right? So I can come back to the other cursor window, right? Go to my settings. Now, if I go to MCP and I refresh this, hold on. I think it should be able to come on. Let me see if it's still on. Okay, so it's on now. So right now you can see it has two endpoints. It gets Figma data and it gets downloads like Figma images. So I think so sometimes the images work, sometimes the images don't work. So it's a bit all over the place. So let me pull up Figma and probably just build out one of these screens. So let me just copy this. Again, it gets it, I would say 80%, right? Then the other ones you kind of need to kind of do it a bit more manually. So let me copy this and I can go to cursor. Nice cursor again. And I can say, let me go, okay. Build this UI out using the Figma 2. Using the Figma 2, right? Hold on, let me check if I've switched the model. Okay. Let me use Gemini. I prefer to work with Gemini mostly for now. So although I kind of alternate between Gemini and Claude. Usually when I'm so it's nice running the tool. So it's gotten the information it needs. It's fetched the data. So that you can see it already sees what's in the Figma. So it's asking what technology should I use? How should I output the generated code? So now I can say build this in React and TypeScript. Okay. I think the fun part about the reason why I prefer Gemini mostly is I'm able to kind of see the thought process, right? And it's able to kind of break things down for me a bit easily, as opposed to when I use a Claude. So download Figma images. This download Figma images sometimes bugs out sometimes. But I think it might be working this time. We'll see.
Let's see.
So it's added. You said it's added thing to source assets. I can't see the folder yet, but let me see. Sources. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I'll include basic stake management, so it's still working. Okay, it's added to source components. Okay. Cannot find module. Make sure you need to do this. Okay. You need to build the app setup. Okay. Now I can say, okay, let's do this. Let me check the errors. Okay, it needs to install some other files. So I think
Can
that's
you
one thing.
change the language?
So then, yeah. So now,
Make it
what I can do here is this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what I can do here is I can go back, right, and say maybe um let's say okay, build out this Figma 2. Use basic HTML.
Mm-hmm.
HTML and CSS. So once you revert it, it's able to go back to the previous point. So even if you make a mistake and the AI model doesn't, you can always go back to that particular checkpoint. So it's getting the data again. So let's see. Fetch data, 2-column layout. The left side has some. Okay. Download these images. Then I'll create the index and HTML file. So we'll see. See how this goes. Because I know for React, usually for React, if I had an extensive cursor rules here, what the agents have done would have been it would look at the rules I set, set up the environment first, I just install all the required things it needs for the environment before it starts to build. But this time, because there was no rule, it just went straight to writing the component itself without having to build it. So let's see. So I think it stopped. I can say continue. Let's see. Proceed. So I think it's just the whole concept of vibe coding. Just sit back, write instructions, wait for the model to wait for the model to
and debug.
Do it in. However, this stuff that it's doing here, right? For those that like the easier way, obviously I can use a Loveable.dev to try to do this side by side. So while this is going on, because sometimes the LLM takes time to respond. Let me see. Let me run this, then I can open Loveable as well. Let me open Loveable. Drop it somewhere. So while it's downloading this, I can do the same thing. The only difference now is for Loveable. Loveable has this integration. So let me drag Loveable here. So
it has a Figma integration, correct?
Yeah, so it has a Figma integration, but theirs requires a plugin. And I've not tried it before because I hate when there is a third party in between it too. So it feels like I have to go and install something else to just get access to it. So while that is happening, right, I can also show you how it works on Loveable. So for Loveable, yeah, let me go to Figma again. Go to Figma, right? The difference between Loveable and Cursor is for Loveable mostly, I can try to drop this as a screenshot, right? And it's going to try to build this. I can say build out this UI. So the interesting thing about this one is I can write the most basic of prompts and it's going to be able to do it. Yeah. But Cursor needs me to be very specific. So if I miss that one, it's going to have some issues. So let me see where we are right now. So it's still calling the MCP2. So sometimes the model wastes time, which sometimes it gets annoying. But I'll say most of the time it's fast, which is why they tend to do this stuff. So if I stop this, right? Let's say I stop, which is why they tend to allow you to do auto.
Allow you to switch.
So this auto tends to switch between the models if there is some sort of lag. So they probably switch it under model immediately, so you don't know that let's say something is breaking. So, but let's try with under model.
Let's try
the auto. So it's going to pick up another model. I'm guessing likely to continue with Claude Sonnet, but if I don't see any thinking values here, I know it's likely Claude Sonnet. But let me see. So let's see where Loveable is. Loveable is. You started to write plugin form.tsl, but let me see. Okay. Loveable has already started like set up the basics. Tailwind, config, writing the components, okay. Index.css, okay. Still building, importing. Okay, so I just watched Loveable do its stuff. Come back to cursor. Okay, finally ran this too. So let's see. Yes, I think just basically just to watch which one finishes first. I just kind of been able to kind of rank the results. I think it's just fun. But again, I think the on one shot usually Loveable tends to do well as well in one shot as well. So
Curious. It feels like because I saw something about Super Base. So is it trying to build a backend for it as well, like for the art?
okay, okay. So for
I
Super
think I
Base,
saw
yeah. So
Super
on
Base
yeah,
in this
so it's
thinking.
here. You see Super Base here.
No. I mean, no,
It's
not
back.
here. I mean, when like on the in the thinking view. I think I saw it mention that, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, so I think so. There's an MCP2 for Super Base on
Mm.
Cursor, yeah. But I think for this, I'm not actually linking it, so I don't know why the model is wasting time. But let's see how this goes. So it's still writing the tailwind config. We'll see. So it's
Mm-hmm.
writing the code. Let me switch back to Cursor. Cursor has gone on holiday today. I don't know why it doesn't. it
Doesn't
just
want us
it
to
just
have
uh,
something.
it's taking time, but it's saying timeout. Hold on, let me see. My server is still running, right? Let me check if the server is still running.
Hopefully.
Yeah, the server is still running. Server is still running. So new SSH connection. So it's doing all of this, right? For some reason, let me refresh and see. Hold on. It's still on. I had to turn it off and on. this thing, this thing stresses
Sometimes
me
you
out
just have to turn
sometimes.
things up and on.
Okay, Loveable.
Okay, so try to do that.
I'm impressed.
You tried.
Uh, it's actually very interesting because like you can see it's it's why I say it's probably easier for people that are non-technical because you have less problems with this because you're saying I have to go around change things, make sure it's easy again.
Mhm.
But the interesting part about Cursor is um the reason I personally use Cursor is I think most of the projects I do for
Mm.
myself or the exploration I tend to do is that I tend to build things that are not web apps. If I'm going with a
Mm.
web app, I'd rather just do it on Loveable instead than having to go
Mm.
to Cursor.
Mm. So
Because
what
there's
kind of things do
no
you build on Cursor?
so Cursor would be things like a desktop app. So I have the desktop app I built. Let me see if I can pull that
Mm.
up. Wait, it's okay now. It says we need to save information to Superbase. So right now, I don't want to
Mm.
connect
Try to.
Superbase yet. So,
Mm-hmm.
but if you want to, let's say you are on a project now and you've done all your designs and you want to build out your design, you could come to Loveable one in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah, you've done your design, you've built out the UI. But I think
Mm-hmm.
what I tend to tell most people is when you want to build out your UI in these tools, right? First, work on the front end first, on your front end UI first. Then you can now come and link up every
And
single
connect
thing. So that
back.
way, yeah, because I think the front end part is probably the more annoying part of the it's probably the more annoying part of the whole stuff. But you can also kind of make a change. And now another interesting part about Loveable is this. I can click on edit here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can come here and make changes to this directly. Let's say I can
Mm.
come and say, let's say edit this, change the text by prompting in the chat box. Let me see.
Mm.
Yeah, let me see if I can change this. Okay, continue with Google. I can say continue with BTS. So
So you can
again, I
debug
think
your UI inside here. That's really cool.
so you're able to just make edits, quick edits. Which cursor
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have which what cursor forces me to do? Cursor forces me to do this. If it's a web app, it forces me to do it in Onlook because Onlook has
Mm.
its own front end interface that looks like Figma. It looks kind of like Figma, so you're able to kind of make the same edits inside of Unlook.
On Look. Okay. Makes sense.
SCW cursor is. So this is like now I have to always kind of approve each command it does. So if it runs any command, I have to kind of approve it. So there's this one. So let me see. I think it's also going to be responsive. I know Loveable tends to make things responsive automatically. Yep, I knew. So it already knows what to use for it, basically. And now the best part is that you can link this to your GitHub. Then once you're done, you can now move it to cursor, right? So one other thing, let me open another cursor project while this is running. New window, I think. Is it still running? Okay, cool. Open project. Let's go to scripts. Let me see. That stuff should be here. It's not like there are lots of projects here. I'm trying to see if I can find that one. Okay, director. Let me see. Yeah, director. So I guess is it this one? Let me see. Let's see if it's this one. Components. And okay, one way to find out. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it's not this project. And it's probably new window. Let's go to open projects. Script. I'm trying to get
that
the name. No, okay, yeah, see here. It was why I was confused. There's director and then director AI. So I kind of mixed up the names. Okay. So this one is a
okay, I think I saw you post this on Twitter one time. Yeah.
So this is a totally it's like a desktop editor, right? I'm able to it's just basically for people to kind of write scripts, and they have like AI help them, assist them with writing the script, and also create like a video for it. So I think for me, I would say I'm like probably 50 or 60% done. I would say 50% done. The remaining parts, I just need to make out time to work on it, so you can start a new project. Let's say.
So what is the what AI is powering the video editor? Is it Kling? Is it what is the?
Okay, so what I did was so the idea behind this is being able to combine multiple models to do what you want. So like let's say if you want to create like let's say you want to create anything, right? You want to create an animation, you want to create a music video, for example. You need different models. You need an audio model. You need one for video. You need one for images, right? So right now, I think the part of the ones that I've linked up so far is just for the script side, right? Because for the image side, I need to also kind of figure that part out. So I think what's remaining is just, I would say, fixing the editor, the main editor, then adding the video models and the image models. But for the text models, the text model works. So I can say BTS, go to continue, create project. I can say auto generate. It's a short movie about a boy named Charles, set in the 1960s. So I can just generate project. So it calls the model API, generate the scripts, and you see the script in the editor in a couple of seconds. Yep. You have your scene. So you're able to add a character. Let's say I want
this
to.
Is the script.
Yeah. So let's say I want to tag a character mom. I can tag it mom. Tag it in multiple places. Right click, tagging the scene only. The tags where there's mom. There's some places where it kind of bugs sometimes.
Mrs.
But I have to kind of fix the bug. Then I think there's also an AI assistant where you can type hi. It You see, it already has context of what's happening.
Nice, nice,
So I can
nice, nice,
just
nice.
keep asking question. So the whole idea just same way cursor works for code, just do it for videos. So
Is there a demo link for this now?
I had one I had built, but the first version didn't have this AI in it. So if you go to this storyboard now, you can see there's this. But I feel like there's a lot more design work. For this, I had to do the design in Figma before I actually got here.
Oh,
So
so
I
you
had to kind
design
of
everything in Figma, build the visual, the front end, and then
yeah,
try to. Mm,
yeah.
mm,
Because I think it's easier to kind of visualize ideas in Figma first before you come here.
it's faster.
So that way,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that way you're able to move things around because there are things you want to do in code that if you don't kind of define it in the design first, even you don't define it in the design first, it's going to be very tricky to
For
actually
the
come
for the code base to
try
pick
to
it up. For, yeah,
try
to
to
pick
build
it
it
up.
there. Yeah, so let's see where we are. Okay, skip and continue. So for some reason, cursor is just going haywire.
Today.
It's just going haywire. Well, yeah,
That's fine.
I think it's just busy, but for Loveable.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Thanks for sharing. Just like your workflow with AI. I said I'm sure a lot of people would want to see you do this live and ask questions live. So we'll make time to like set that one up, probably like on
Yeah.
Twitter or something. But like final notes, what is your advice to builders or designers at this time? How can they use AI to leverage? How can they leverage AI in their workflow?
Okay, I think mostly what I would say is just don't be afraid of failing. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything like failure per se. I think it's mostly just trying to once there's a new tool that comes out, right? You try it out. I think there's one I haven't tried out the other day. I haven't even used it to do anything much, right? I think it's called rock.app, right? It's able to build like an app that you can actually use on your phone, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have like Expo app. Do you have if you have the Expo app on your phone, I can show you one. You can just scan the code and it loads it on your phone. So the whole idea is I would say for people just feel free to experiment. There is nothing wrong with experimenting and just trying out different tools. What it does is whenever you come whenever you come across a specific challenge, right?
Mm,
You are able to you're able to know the tool to use, right? Because I think for me, it's not just about using the AI for code, right? I think it also comes in handy when you want to do designs as well in terms of
mm,
assets. You just try to experiment, try to test out the different prompts,
mm,
try to use Mid Journey. So I think there's a platform called midjourneysref.com, right? I think it'll come in handy for brand designers as well. Let's say you want to kind of define I think I should probably share my screen and just show that a bit so people kind of get
sure.
like context. So I think what it basically does is so it has like different image styles, right? So the thing
Mm,
about Midjourney is this you're able to copy this sref and you're able to generate art styles that match up
based
these
on the
styles.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
So let's say you want to create a particular brand style or brand imagery. Like this now, I like this one. I can probably create an image from this.
Mm,
So I can just copy the sref code, add it to the back of the prompt. So every single image generated is going to look like this. So,
true.
so I think I have I don't know if my Midjourney account is still up because I think I hadn't subscribed for it. But I'd use it to do something before.
Crazy
Yeah,
question.
look
How
around.
many tools are you subscribed to? Can you even keep count? That's actually a question I should ask. Good ask because like when I just see you,
Uh,
I'm like, God, I'm sure this is not free. That's why I come to my mind.
it
Like I'm sure this
is
is
the
expensive.
so I think yeah I think again they're all I'll say using AI tools are expensive. I don't advise anybody to do what I'm doing. If you're not if
How many? How
if
many
you
are you paying for?
okay I think right now, apart from the ones that have expired, but I think I'll probably count the ones that have expired back because I'll probably go and pay for them again. So I think the ones I use actively, okay, I think I pay for ChatGPT, I pay for Cursor, I pay for Claude. So ChatGPT, Cursor, Claude, I pay for Midjourney. It's expired, but I'm still going to renew it. I pay for Midjourney. I pay for Loveable. That's like 5. Let me see which other two.
Do you pay for Cling? I think I saw you.
Okay, yeah, I pay for Cling. So I almost forgot. I pay for Cling.
Yeah,
I pay for. So I pay for Cling too. I think it's 6. Then I think there are probably some other ones that off the top of my head, like I can't remember, but it's.
Do you pay for Recraft? I doubt.
Recraft. So Recraft, I'm on a pro plan with them, but for now, so it's kind of
okay.
So
they gave you they gifted you a pro plan.
Yeah. So although what they do now is if you refer more people, you get more credit. So you can use the platform for free. So I'm not paying for it now, but I think Recraft is a very solid tool. Which again, even if my pro account expires, I'll probably pay for it. If you so you see like for Midjourney, let me see if I scroll down. I want to find one that I added like an sref code. So you kind of see like there's a particular sref code. It maintains the same style. It's not giving variations. So I think once I add an sref, it maintains that same style. You can see it's still the same sref code here, and it's maintaining the same style across. And I think another part for Kling is another thing is I think for Kling now. Kling, I think there was one video I did for a landing page UI section where I kind of animated the designs, the assets in Kling. I think for Kling is very interesting. Kling is so there was one I was working on, but it didn't work out. So I'm still going to do some updates on it later. But so if I go to video, right, you'd see like this one was inspired by that bird.
That trend.
Yeah, so the bird on the timeline. So there's this one. This one. Yeah, so this one was for the plugin UI I had worked on. So I think sometimes the videos take some time to click here. It's very seamless.
What was the prompt for the blue element moving along with an aura? Simple.
So it's a very simple prompt. Although there are times where I try to create very realistic ones. Like for example, this one. If you had seen this video randomly, you probably don't know it's AI.
True. Actually, it looks so.
So and I remember when we used to say if it's AI, check the hands. Can I check the hands?
That was I remember that Will Smith video when he's eating spag. Now everybody's trying to do this spaghetti test. There's this spaghetti test happening.
So there's that. This one, I think that this one too is also
even the style, even like the retro style of the color grading, like everything on that video is quite high quality.
So just kind of it was kind of I think for this one it's you can tell, but if there's a filter, you probably don't know.
Yeah, I think the filter is very AI coded.
Yeah, but this one just felt like
this one feels real. It feels like an Instagram, even like something you see on Instagram.
Yeah, I think
especially the
also
first
like
5 seconds.
Yeah, there's also like this anime style. Which
I saw this.
So so the another part about Kling, which is so it gets very expensive. So each video now, let's say on this they are 2.0, right? Each video costs like each 5-second video costs like 100 credits. So
and 100 credits is like how much?
Let me see. So if you go to their pricing plan right now,
so you buy credits and then your
I have to keep
on your credits.
Yeah, so you now have to keep prompting. So you have to make sure you get the right prompts and pray
at first
that the AI and pray that the AI model does does it very well because you can go to, let's say
This is
you want to go to
accessible.
create it, so you can,
Mm-hmm.
so $5 now. This $5 means you can create uh 3 5 seconds video
Mm.
basically.
Mm. It's
So
crazy. Yeah.
that's the entire
I mean,
entire
everybody should go and build their own ChatGPT wrapper because this is about printing money. I can't lie.
so
But yeah, it's actually really exciting, like really exciting times that we're in, and I hope
so
that more people are like utilizing and leveraging on these tools
I think
as
it's
much
it's
as
very
possible.
very very, yeah, I think it's fun. There's always a new tool to play around with every
To
single day.
explore, to check out, and I think you do that really well, just finding that next sort thing. And I'm sure
I
just a
think
lot of people just follow it to say, let me see this, let me be seeing you too for Michael for now. Like
so I
that.
think, yeah, I think one thing I also do is uh is basically I tend to, so the way my Twitter timeline is structured, it's different from how a lot of people's timeline is structured, right?
Mm,
So I tend to follow lists. So if I kind of open my X account, I think, yeah, so
mm.
AI policy, AI leaders, AI community, AI. So I follow AI stuff so much. So what
So
happens
you're
is,
never on your home, like on your main tab,
if I'm on my
on
main
your
tab,
for you, on your for you.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So what happens is, if I'm on my for you, it tends to combine content from those I follow, then combine content from AI from all these other tabs together. So if I
On your
scroll
list.
down a bit, if I scroll down a bit, I'm likely to see AI content before I get to like
See
10
now
posts.
you're
So right now I'm
seeing
seeing
this
some,
white money. I'm not
I'm
sure.
seeing
It's mixed.
yeah, yeah. So right now you see this one, you solve text to speech AI. So I cannot scroll more than 10
Okay.
content, 10
And you
posts,
won't
and I want to
see.
see AI content.
Mm, mm,
So at the end of the day, you just see me, just if I scroll again, and I'm seeing
mm-hmm,
GPT-4o. Scroll down again, and I'm seeing, let's go,
mm,
X Meta AI, list AI. So
mm,
again, I was, now I can say, okay, what's list AI? Let me go and see what list AI does. So
mm,
constantly, if I'm on my feed, I must see something that's AI related. But
mm,
if
mm,
I decide
mm.
I want to go to AI community, this one is strictly
Strictly.
AI content. There is
Mm,
nothing else I'll show.
mm.
Sometimes X on the web does this stuff that I don't know what Elon and his engineering team are doing. But
This
yeah,
is
it
God.
just, okay. Okay, yeah, so
Okay.
AI content, Federal Reserve, so
Okay. So
API
everything.
and LLMs, some thoughts on Axios today, PyTorch,
Mm,
top model release so far. So I get to see everything
mm.
immediately. So if someone released a new model today, the time it to take to get to my feed is probably 5 minutes, and I'll see it.
True, 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 true.
So
Thanks
immediately
for
release something.
sharing all of this. I hope that someone finds it useful. And hope we get to do that live stream very, 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 very soon. But
Yeah,
again,
sure, sure.
bye.